Well, greetings and salutations, one and all. Back again is the Super Review Show's career retrospectives right here on the Super Review Show Network. I am joined by my two incredible friends, Kyle and Mike. How are you doing tonight?
What's up, guys? Again, deja vu.
Here we are.
Talk,
Another album, another day.
talk about deja vu. So, for those of you who don't know, we recorded these back to back on one day. So we're doing a rapid fire stuff here just for you out there. As the title of our podcast suggests, alludes to, whatever. Today we're going to be discussing and breaking down Styx' new album, Circling from Above, which came out back earlier this year in 2025. As I pull up the information about it right now, give me a second. There we go. Mike, you who told us about this? Kyle or Mike? I forget which one of you guys told me about this one. Was it Mike?
I think I mentioned it.
Yeah,
I just mentioned that I saw it being released and that I have a history with Styx, that it's like a enjoyable band who kind of fits my musical wheelhouse, but does like to do some progressive stuff, which as you all know in this channel, I am a fan of the progressive rock, and I'd like to hear what's being released from the legacy bands in that genre, see if they're still progressing.
And that's Mike's initial impressions of Styx. Kyle, what's your initial impressions of Styx, my friend?
I mean, I've always been a fan of Styx. All their big hits incredibly well. I know all those incredibly well. I've seen them live a couple times. They kill live. Great band. Always looking forward to what they put out. Wasn't huge into their last album, but you can go back and check that out on our old review from a couple of years ago.
So Kyle, when you say you're a fan of sticks, you don't mean actual wooden sticks in the woods. You're talking about a fan of the band.
Both.
Okay, both. Okay, so
You
you
can't have a house without sticks, and you can't have progressive rock without sticks.
Right, sticks and stones. Well, we already did the Stones, not a while back.
I don't think we've ever done that. No, we did this since 2023. My God, that's a long time ago.
Woo!
Talk about rusting on the dust there. No, in all seriousness though, my enjoyment of Styx, I did see them live once. They were really a really fun show live. If you have a chance to go see Styx in a town or city near you, go check them out. They're a really fun show. I was lucky enough to see them with Loverboy and REO Speedwagon on their 2022 tour. And when they came to the area, it was really something special. Great show, really entertaining show. Come sail away, got everyone going up, and got everyone going, of course. So it's funny. They kind of fall into the categories for me of like Chicago almost. Like they don't need to put out a new album; they can just tour forever until they literally drop on their material that they release in the 60s, or not even the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and into the maybe the early 90s, if that too. After Dennis got booted, unfortunately, that's a hell of a story for another time. But no, this album was unique. Needless to say, I got a lot of different elements that I'm going to get into when I get into the record here. But yeah, this is really a good record to get into. That I everything from I'm jumping the gun, but the production, some guitar licks here and there, some guitar solos, the vocals. There's a lot of stuff I really did enjoy in this record, truthfully. But we're gonna get into it in a little bit. But let's have Mike kick it off because this was after his notification of us. Oh, sorry, Crash the Crown was 2021, but we reviewed it in 2022.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
Yeah, so my initial impressions of the album, it feels like a tour of like a lot of artists who kind of maybe the Styx are influenced by, or who they find close to them in the sense of like the musical sound that they're trying to kind of really pedestal alongside themselves. But you get a lot of Beatles, you get a lot of Pink Floyd, ELO, you get a lot of even at Steely Dan, Build and Destroy. I felt like some of that like cool kind of little jazzy feel to the guitars and the keys, and they do it all on this album. It really does fluctuate along a path of some straight up like kind of dance tune, like like an old folk kind of dance tune on the Blue-Eyed Raven, from like a very Queen to like Beatles kind of progressive Everyone Raise a Glass. You got almost like a power metal opening of King of Love, like literally reminded me of a power metal song from the opener. and then just kind of does some like Styx stuff with like the that kind of soft power rock, I'd call it. There, it just kind of does everything through and through in between, and it really flexes off a lot of artists that they were they were influenced by, with some of their elements in between. So that's kind of like the general feel I got from it. Are we doing standout tracks here, or are we just doing?
Yeah, go ahead. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, my standout tracks. We have Blue Eyed Raven, great song. Fun, colorful, lots of voices, Spanish guitar, percussion, violins, well written, catchy. It does feel like a Beatles kind of throwback tune that just kind of goes off road in the sense of like away from the entire album style, as well as like Queen as well. Another standout track for me was Forgive. Great song, great lyrics, great classic rock ballad feel to it. Just a heartfelt song, something from like the Beatles or Bob Dylan. And then I would say maybe another track that grew on me was probably, or is it? Everyone Raise a Glass. Yeah, that's just another. It's just another fun track, and then and all the other tracks that are kind of the other ones are like still keeping in the realm of Styx and keeping it where I think I expect it to be. So yeah, those are my standout tracks.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go next real quick because I
Sure,
gotta
go ahead.
point something out here. This is one of the rare instances where me and Mike are totally aligned.
Yes,
100% aligned. My standout tracks right here: Blue Eyed Raven, Everybody Raise a Glass, Forgive, and I gotta throw Build and Destroy in there myself.
yes.
But
Okay.
oh my god, Mike, I cannot agree more. When you're going through that, I was like, we have the stars have aligned here.
Yes.
It's that time.
This is
Boy.
an album that is one of the only albums of the year, if not the only one, that actually feels like a cohesive album as a work of art, rather than here's some songs that we wrote, we're compiling them onto one release, here you go.
Yes.
It's a very welcome addition to 2025. It's an incredibly consistent album front to back. If you told me after their last record that I would like their follow-up to that one this much, I wouldn't have believed it years ago, because I really, other than a couple songs from the last one, I wasn't really into that one at all. Night and day here. Going right into Build and Destroy, this one really has that classic Styx sound. The storytelling on this one is great too, and a lot of the songs on here I do feel like are more focused on that storytelling aspect than like the actual like musicality, but it works. There's enough of it where it complements each other and it works really well. On that track, the guitar solo is great. The keys, the bass groove, it has excellent harmonies that you would expect from a Styx song. Has everything you would want. King of Love has like this eerie, almost like gothic vocal stylings that work really well. Forgive, again, Mike, you said it, very Beatles-esque. Great track. Everybody Raise a Glass it sounds just like a Queen song. Even the guitar solo is, if you told me that Brian May played that guitar solo, I'd be like, yep, makes sense. And Blue Eyed Raven, wow. I feel like the Paul McCartney influence on that track is undeniable. I love the ending with the medieval sounding like violin going on. It in its relatively short runtime, the song manages to do a lot. It fits a lot into 4 minutes incredibly well. And yeah, overall there was not a single track on this album that I did not like.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're 3 for 3, gentlemen. There are some really this is a really great. I would not call it a masterpiece, given some time, but this is a modern, a nice throwback feel to a lot of classic rock. You guys mentioned Queen, the Beatles, ELO, Steely Dan, Bob Dylan, even solo McCartney to an extent. so much you can go off of it here on this one record alone, and there are, again, it's hard for me. This might be the first time this ever happened with us. This is a hard time finding like one or two like just solid standout cuts, because every single album, including the, from like start to finish, this is just a really well structured album. Take note, people. Writing an album, you should put together songs that can cohesively go together. Oh, maybe not tell a narrative like a concept album, but just tell a collection of songs that are meant to be put together perfectly. And this is one of the very few examples of it in the 2020s. Needless to say, this is a fantastic release from Styx. This is a breath of fresh air compared to what we've been listening to lately. For those who followed us for any period of time, we reviewed like we did Justin Bieber, we did Kesha. Just hearing this record alone, hearing Styx is Circling from Above, is just a breath of fresh air for me, at least. And you're right, though. I will say a lot of it did sound like Queen to an extent, like especially Everybody Raise a Glass. I mean, that is Queen. If Brian, Kyle had the nail there. If that was Brian May, I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Like, it's so Queen-esque, needless to say. And there's so many great tracks on here. We're just, if I were to cluster together and just say this is a solid record, I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do. I'm giving this a solid 8.5 out of 10 right off the bat. Kind of wrapping up my thoughts initially on that. But yeah, that's my rating of this album is an 8.5 out of 10 for the Styx's Circling from Above. There's so many great songs on here, but when you listen to it, I've said this before, I'll say it again. When you listen to an album from start to finish, you get an overall experience of a record that you don't normally hear that often. I actually hear stuff on here that is cohesive, that is effective, that gives you meaning, that gives you joy, that gives you like, it's just different elements that I really fell in love with on this record. And it really is a fantastic release by a really great band that is still touring to this day. I wish they'd play some songs from this album live on their tour that's been going on now, but that's just me.
I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to list some 3 positive and 3 negative things about this album, but like sure. How it kind of is in this era of the band. So your first positive things. Now, this album does a good job of pacing, from starting with Build and Destroy, having that nice kind of a memorable song where that has some memorable qualities to it, and then coming in with some different kinds of songs that still maintain the Styx feel, and use the synths properly, to use some of the elements properly and not make them feel like you're like, I think the problem with the last album was it overused too much of synths, and it didn't know how to like and like there is some negative on this side too, but it used the synth properly, and it was able to put them all together and feel like all the songs were paced correctly. Like this song's like the Beatles. The song has like a very theatrical, almost like almost My Chemical Romance. How they would do some kind of like theatrical stuff in their music. This album did some good stuff, like in Everyone Raise a Glass. It had a very theatrical movements and moments in it. Same thing with Blue Eye Raven, like just completely different than the other song before it. There's some good songwriting. So then my negative parts, some of the vocals felt a little underwhelming. And that makes sense because you don't have the main vocalist who kind of delivered the original Styx, kind of like the power vocals and the like captivating just depth to the vocals. Some of the vocals felt a little inconsistent, but they worked for what they were doing. They just felt like I wish they were a little more like in your face and just to kind of seize the power of the song. And you can kind of see that throughout this whole album. There are a couple moments that feel underwhelming vocally, but they do what they can do. And then they try some pretty like range stuff with like like Forgive, and also like I think it was it might have been Everyone Raise a Glass. He's trying to do some Queen kind of high range stuff in the high register vocals, but overall good songwriting. And another negative thing was some of the stuff I missed from the Styx was the rock and feel to it. more of the rocking kind of like Renegade, just like the upbeat tempo kind of rocking guitars. And I felt like this album did shy away. There's some songs like We Lost the Wheel Again. It has a nice rocking feel to it with that kind of gritty vocal delivery. And it does do that throughout this album on occasion. But I do wish they did double down on some of the more rocking elements of the album. So overall, I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10. It is it's an album that I really enjoyed. It grew on me, and I think I could find myself even going possibly in the 8.5 range as well. Maybe not a 9, but definitely an 8.5. I could see myself going to in the near future.
Yeah, I already listed off my 8.5 rating there, so I'm a little bit higher than Mike on this one because I was floored by it myself. But Kyle, where do you land for this rating on this Styx album?
As much as I like it, you guys are still making me be a villain here. It's a 7.5 for me. I really like it. Mike, I agree with your point completely, and the reason I don't have it slightly higher is because of that. One of the parts about Styx that I really like that was totally missing from the last album is those rocking parts, like your upbeat tempo songs like Renegade, Too Much Time on My Hands, all those. This album, like I said, does have a more focus on storytelling in the lyrics on the songs, which is not a bad thing. It does it very well. There's nothing here, I think, that goes into that upper echelon of Styx songs. There's some ones that get close. There's some 9s on here, but there's nothing that's really blowing me away. There's nothing bad. There are a couple filler tracks that in context of the album that they work. Would I go back to them outside of the album? The verdict's still out on that. Like, It's Clear is one of those. Has some cool elements, but like I wouldn't go seek it out outside of the whole picture. So as a whole, this is a very consistent, well done album, a very, very welcome addition, to their discography. Really like it. Really surprised me, especially after that last album, how good this was. So 7.5, I could see it with further listens, further time growing on me over the rest of the year. I could see it potentially going up even higher.
Yeah, it's funny. It's Clear gave me Yes kind of vibes with the way the vocals would do that. Like certain sound, I can't put my finger on it, but it just calls into the distance, like like they would do that kind of thing. It just gave me the like Yes vibes, as well as like there's some other moments like towards the end of this album, the last 3 songs, Things You Said, We Lost the Wheel Again, and Only You Can Decide. I like that Only You Can Decide Your Fate has a very chill ending. I like the ending of this album. I like the beginning of this album. I think it does well. Almost gave me almost like the group vocals together, like Simon and Garfunkel-esque type of thing, or even like not like obviously old Beach Boys, but like the group vocals was an interesting kind of where they couldn't have a power vocal delivery by the main front man. I feel like they did incorporate some of those group vocals, as well as the vocoder kind of like stuff they did throughout it that gave you like the ELO vibes, where they needed them to kind of to boost the vocals, maybe to add like a layer to it alongside other vocals. When they do that, it's so long, it's such an ELO type of thing to do. And they would, in order to, I think, thicken out the vocals, they use some kind of good just distortion or like methods to really build that. So which is a good strategy when you don't have your guy at the very front of the band being able to deliver that power vocal performance. So yeah, I mean, good use of understanding what you have and what you can deliver, and not trying to like over deliver without being able to follow through. So that's a good thing.
And last similar sound to throw out there, We Lost the Wheel Again. Total Creedence Clearwater Revival sound on that one.
Yes.
Total influence there. I really liked what this album did in terms of like showing multiple different influences and like showcasing inspirations. Something that it was really, really welcome. breath of fresh air for the year. You know, it might not be like my favorite album of the year yet, but it was a really nice thing to finally hear an album that I could sit down and actually listen to. And this isn't a sing-along album. This is not like gonna be all over the radio or, you know, rock stations, and it's not like an arena sing-along album. But this is a sit down, listen to it, and really take it in and just appreciate it type of record.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah,
Could not agree more.
And great album cover.
Oh yeah, the album cover is really great. It definitely looks like it's something from Circling. If you have not seen the album cover yet, definitely check it out too. Anything else, guys?
I think that's it.
That does it.
That's all she wrote, right?
Yep,
we want to thank you for watching, listening. However, you enjoyed us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into our podcast. As always, I want to thank the two music aficionado friends of mine, Kyle and Mike, for doing this podcast with me. As always, your knowledge is unparalleled, gentlemen, unparalleled. And I want to thank you for watching, listening. However you enjoyed us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into our podcast. As always, if you like what you've seen here, please, and heard here, don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. We'll simply the Super Review Show. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Yeah,
like us on MySpace. Okay, just go on there right now. We have a huge following. Okay,
you can contact us via superreviewshow@aol.com.
Yes,
and we'll call
write us a letter, maybe.
You can write us a letter to our fan mail address at
blah
blah blah blah blah blah.com. No. Thanks so much for tuning to our podcast as always. Yeah, for all of us here, the Super Show guys, please out there, stay safe, take care, and God bless.
God bless.